Hello guys and welcome back to Rewind Reviews. I have not done a trailer talk in a little while, but this is a TV show that I've been extremely excited about, and we finally have a teaser trailer for it, so I did want to talk a little bit about it. And that TV series is a Star Wars spin-off show, Ahsoka. Ahsoka is set to be released in August 2023 exclusively on Disney+. It's a spin-off of the Mandalorian TV series. It's set to take place in roughly the same time frame as that show and a lot of the other spin-offs. Star Wars guru Dave Filoni is set to be writing the entire series, and he's also been confirmed to be directing several episodes, with Rosario Dawson reprising the role as Ahsoka. I'm sure I've said this many times in many of these different videos that Ahsoka Tano is one of my favourite Star Wars characters. She was introduced in the 2008 Clone Wars movie, in which she was the Padawan learner of Anakin Skywalker. Through the course of that show we saw her starting to learn and develop and become a fully fledged Jedi. Well, until she's accused of a crime she doesn't commit, so she quits the Jedi Order altogether. She was easily one of the most interesting characters on that show because she was the one who was given the most amount of development. I mean, despite the fact every single character in that show was given a lot of development, to the point where those characters are big improvements from their live action counterparts. When Clone Wars was originally cancelled, it was kind of like left in the balance of what happened to Ahsoka until eventually she showed up in Rebels. And what happened with her in that show is a little bit complicated for me to really sort of go over in this video, so I'll save that for another time. But where that series left off is it did show her in a post-Return of the Jedi world searching for Ezra Bridger. And then a few years later, when The Mandalorian was getting released on Disney Plus, a live action TV series, Ahsoka was brought into live action, played by Rosario Dawson. She was an absolutely fantastic character. I loved how they introduced her and incorporated her into the story. She hasn't had the biggest part to play in this show, but they were setting her up to get her own spin-off TV series, and finally we have confirmation of when that TV series is out, as well as a little teaser trailer for it. And despite the fact that this teaser trailer is just under 2 minutes long, it shows a lot more than I thought we'd see. And honestly, it looks great so far. I'm guessing this is going to be the Dave Filoni directed stuff, because it does seem very similar to what happened within the Mandalorian episode that he directed with Ahsoka in. Because that episode did borrow homage to a few older samurai movies that were supposedly influential in developing Star Wars as well. So it does look like that is being carried over into this, so I do like that visually that style has continued with her, because it really does suit the character, and especially in this point in her life. Obviously this is just a teaser trailer, so we don't really know what the story is going to be about, but I guess we do kind of know roughly what it is that she is after, and that of course is Ezra Bridger and Grand Admiral Thrawn. This was absolutely where her story has always been heading ever since Rebels finished, and in many ways it does make me think that this is genuinely going to be some sort of a follow-up or sequel to the Rebels TV series. And a large part of that is because several Rebels characters are going to have a big presence in this, and I'm genuinely amazed that they actually showed them in this trailer. It has been known for a while that Sabine Wren is going to be making an appearance in this, played by Natasha Liu Bordizzo, who honestly, from the brief glimpse of her in this trailer, she does look the part. I had previously theorised that she might make an appearance in The Mandalorian, but I'm not quite sure if that's going to happen, especially since there's only 2 episodes left of that series at this point in time. But it is genuinely great seeing the character again. I did think that she was a really good character in Rebels, and I like how they have translated her into live action. I am very curious what colour her armour is going to be this time. But then not only is Sabine going to be in this, but we sort of knew that Hera was going to be making an appearance in this, and the leaked trailers that we did see from I think the Star Wars Celebration in 2022 did show that Hera was going to be in this, but we didn't know who was going to be playing her. There have been fan castings about who could be potentially playing her, and I know Kobe Smolder's name was thrown around a lot. I think she would have been a really good choice. But the other fan cast was actually the one that I thought would most likely get the role, and that is Mary Elizabeth Winstead, and I'm really surprised because it is actually her. Yes, Mrs. Kenobi herself is going to be playing Hera Syndulla. She's an absolutely fantastic actress. I really do love the choice. I think she will absolutely nail this role, and I genuinely actually really love how they've brought her to life as well. I know there has definitely been a bit of controversy with how some of these characters have been translated into live action, because like not everything within the animated movies and TV shows is really going to translate very well into live action, but I think that how they've done both Sabine and Hera actually is really good. I do find it a bit weird that Ahsoka's the only one that I think could have done with a little bit of a tweak here and there, because her horns should be a lot bigger than they are, but practicality wise it does make sense that they have made them a bit shorter. It doesn't really bother me too much how well they are translated, because like, if you want comparison, just have a look at how the live action characters translated into animation. They look nothing alike. But I do think that the designs of them are really good, and I think that in terms of how they would look in live action, I do think they have pretty much nailed it. But yeah, absolutely, the personality is the most important thing when it comes to these characters and the overall characterization, and in the hands of these actors, I think that they are going to absolutely nail it. It did put a bit of a smile on my face seeing Chopper in this as well, because I wasn't sure if they were going to reveal him or not in this. I know they have actually had him in live action. I think he was actually in Rogue One in the background in one of the scenes, so it is great seeing him returning. I did think it was pretty cool seeing a few of the little Easter eggs from Rebels as well, like the Loth Cat as well as Ezra Bridges' house. I think we are definitely heading towards getting some sort of Rebels reunion, because like Zeb made a little brief appearance in The Mandalorian, so right now the only two characters from Rebels that have yet to make it into live action is Kanan and Ezra Bridger. Ezra has been cast, so I do believe that he is going to make an appearance in the Ahsoka TV show, especially if a certain other character is going to be making an appearance. I don't know if Kanan will make an appearance, but it depends what direction they go with that character and how it is they go about it. The world between worlds is a thing that is established in Star Wars canon. It is going to be part of the show. They have shown a few brief glimpses of it in the trailer, which I'm really happy about. So I do think that he could potentially make an appearance. I do think that a lot of other characters could potentially make appearances. I know Hayden Christensen is rumoured to be making an appearance. So it is really cool thinking about the possibilities of where this show could go, especially with all the stuff that we know is coming up. It has been rumoured for a little while now that all these different TV shows that Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau have been involved in, like The Mandalorian, Book of Boba Fett, the Ahsoka show, and the Skeleton Crew, which at this point in time is due for release sometime later in the year. The Rangers of the New Republic TV series was also going to factor into this in some way, but with all the stuff that's been going on behind the scenes, I don't think that that show is going to happen, and I do think that a lot of that stuff has been kind of folded into what's been going on with The Mandalorian. So it's just those 4 shows. And what the rumour is that all these shows are going to be linked together in some sort of big climactic event. Now right now they haven't officially given it a title. I don't think there's an official release date, but they have officially confirmed that yes, there is going to be a big movie event directed by Dave Filoni. Myself and a lot of other fans have theorised that this is going to be some sort of an adaptation of Heir to the Empire, and it does look like that is where things are going. I'm definitely curious to see how they do pull this off, especially with all the characters that were involved in the original Thrawn trilogy books. I would imagine that Luke Skywalker will be involved in some way, because it does seem kind of strange if he wouldn't get involved in this event, especially if it's this big. I wonder if he'll show up in Ahsoka. And from what is shown within this little teaser trailer, it does look like this is the show that is really going to mostly set the stage for what will ultimately happen. I wasn't expecting them to actually show Thrawn in this trailer, but we do get a very brief glimpse on it. It's just the back of his head, so at this point in time they still have yet to reveal who is playing him. I'm amazed they've actually managed to keep it a secret this long. Okay, I was halfway through rendering this video to be uploaded, and it has literally just been announced that yes, Lars Mikkelsen is indeed going to be playing a live action Thrawn. In fairness, Mandalorian has actually done quite a bit in actually setting the stage itself, especially with all the little hints and cameos and little clues about what's going on, like the space whales. I don't imagine that Thrawn is going to be the main villain of this TV series, because it looks like the biggest threat within this show is going to be a character played by Ray Stevenson. Some people have said, oh, is he going to be like a Sith of some kind? I don't think that the Sith exists at this point in time within the Star Wars universe. I think most likely he is going to be some sort of Inquisitor. It looks like the Inquisitors are going to play a part in this, because this teaser does feature a few clips of Ahsoka taking on a few lightsaber wielders, one of which does look very much like an Inquisitor lightsaber, but also looks like Dark Troopers, the ones from The Mandalorian, are going to be making an appearance in this as well. They might not be, I might be getting it completely wrong, but they actually look quite similar to the Inquisitors that are in Jedi Fallen Order, the video game. So there is a little bit of me that is wondering, will Cal Kestis make an appearance? I did really love that game, and I loved his story, so I would quite like to see him in live action, depending on how his game series unfolds. But I do like the look of these new villains that are introduced in this, and I think one thing that really did catch my eye is the lightsabers, because there's like a weird sort of orangey colour, but it sort of actually looks really similar to the lightsaber that Darth Vader has in the original poster for the very first Star Wars. That's just a cool little Easter egg. There's also a brief glimpse of Morgan Elsbeth, played by Diana Lee Inosanto, who previously appeared in that episode of Mandalorian with Ahsoka, so it is really cool getting to see that character returning. I am genuinely really looking forward to this show. I do like how it looks, I like the casting choices. I'm really looking forward to seeing Iman Esfandi as Ezra Bridger, because I am really curious to see what it is that he is going to bring to the role. I am really curious how this story is going to unfold and how it is going to tie everything together. This does look like it is going to be the biggest stepping stone towards everything that is coming up. And it does feel like the perfect bridge between all the different eras of this show, because even David Tennant's droid is actually making a little appearance in this. I completely forgot it was him. Mon Mothma is going to be making an appearance in this as well from the original trilogy. The characters from Rebels are going to be making an appearance in this, as well as the characters from the Mandalorian era. So I am genuinely really looking forward to seeing where it is that this show ultimately goes, and genuinely I am really excited about it. It is definitely an interesting time being a Star Wars fan with all the different projects that have been announced, like the Acolyte TV series. I'm not really that familiar with this. Nothing really that sort of grabbed me about it, to be honest. There's a Dawn of the Jedi story supposedly being developed with James Mangold directing it. The story, if it's based on the book at all, I did struggle with the book when I actually did read. I didn't actually finish the book, to be honest. But James Mangold is a fantastic director. He directed Logan, for those who don't know, so it could be really good. I am a bit more curious about that one. And they've also recently just announced that there is going to be a movie that takes place 15 years after The Rise of Skywalker, and Daisy Ridley is going to be returning as Rey. She's not my favourite character when it comes to the sequel trilogy, but I do think that Daisy Ridley is a really likeable actress. She is a really good actress, so it is good seeing her come back, and I am really curious to see what it is that they do with the character going forwards. And then we have all the other live action TV series on the way, so it is really interesting being a Star Wars fan right now because of all the content that is coming out. I am looking forward to some of the projects. Some of them I will need winning over because I just don't really know that much about them. But in terms of the more bigger projects, I am really looking forward to seeing them and seeing how they ultimately unfold. And as for Ahsoka, I'm really glad that she now has a TV series all of her own. She is one of my absolute favourite Star Wars characters, so I am really looking forward to seeing what it is that they do with her. Well, I think that's pretty much everything I need to say for this video. I know it was a bit more rambly than usual, but there's not an awful lot to really sort of talk about, so I did want to just sort of go over a few little theories and things like that. So if you have watched this video through this far, thank you very much for watching. If you've enjoyed this content, please like, please subscribe, hit the notification button to keep up to date on everything that's going on here. Let me know down in the comments if you're looking forward to this show, which upcoming project are you most looking forward to. Also, if you have any suggestions for any future Rewind reviews you'd like me to do, whether it's film, TV, maybe games, let me know down in the comments. I've got a few big Rewind reviews actually planned for the future, so keep an eye out for those. So until then, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next Rewind review. See you guys.